So anyway, I'm Joan. I am a professional organizer, as we all know, and I am the owner of OCD Organized. And I'm going to start off by saying we all know what OCD is, right? Obsessive compulsive disorder. So my story is that I was doing some very intensive therapy. At the end of my therapy, I wanted to let go, I don't know if you can really do that, of my OCD. And I started to kind of like mourn the loss of it because I've had this my entire life. It's been a part of who I am. It's my personality. Everybody knows it. I used to hide it the best way that I could. And then I started to like mourn it. And I'm like, does that mean that I'm going to be lazy? Does that mean that I'm going to not be organized? Like, what does that look like for me? So instead of putting this negative spin on it that I've had my entire life, I started leaning into the positives. What am I really great at? Organizing. So I decided to branch out during COVID, which seems like everybody has some type of monumental like COVID story, that I reached out to the public and I just said, hey, I've been organizing for over 15 years at that point for friends and family. Is anybody interested in this? And I immediately had a customer and I was like, holy crap, this is a thing. So that's kind of how this all started. I'm in my 4th year and I just keep growing exponentially. And it's beautiful because here I thought it was this terrible thing. And here I am really turning around and helping people. And they don't realize that they're helping me too. It feeds into my anxiety and my pent up energy and I get it all out and I help them. And they're like, I don't know where to start. I'm anxious. I'm this, I'm that. And I look at it and I'm playing Tetris and I'm like, oh, this is going to be so good. This is going to be so good. I already know what it's going to look like. Like, it's great. Needless to say, a lot of people don't realize hoarders and just disorganized because of life. That doesn't happen overnight. That happens over months. That happens over years. And a lot of people put a lot of stigma on it, we'll say, and it doesn't need to be that way. We all get stuck. We all just need a little bit of help, and it's just a matter of reaching out. So, you know, I have a very judgment-free zone. A lot of these people either have OCD or ADHD or anxiety, depression, whatever it is. So while we're going through their stuff, it's almost like a little therapy session. And they're telling me, hey, this is the last time I was with my grandfather, and they got like a tchotchke, you know, bracelet that you get at swag at any other place. And to me, I'm not going to look at that as a tchotchke. I'm going to look at it as, oh, this is something very special to them. We'll find a spot for that, you know? If it is something that can be let go, I very much believe in a second life for these items. So blankets, towels, those types of things, I actually take and donate to either Popcorn Park Zoo or Jersey Shore Animal Center, clothes. There's several different donation sites that I bring those to, depending on who's in need of what. Just believe if it's like toiletries and stuff like that. So in between clients, I am running to all these other establishments and removing their donations. So I remove donations for several reasons. One of them is, like Bridget and Michelle was saying, they already let it go. It's in the bag, right? If I don't remove that bag, they're going to go back in. They're going to second guess it. If it's out of sight, it's out of mind, you know? The second reason being, like you said, it rolls around in your trunk for like 4 months and you're like, crap, I passed by again. Crap, I passed by again. I really want it to go to where it should go. If I can give it to somebody else that's going to really benefit from that thing, then that is what I like to do. If you guys know anybody who's struggling, there's a lot of shame that goes in it. Don't, like, if you're going to help them and they don't need me, that's okay. I get it. Don't make them feel more shame than they already do. A lot of people will throw a box in front of them if it's a friend or family member and say, you have 30 seconds to make a decision. And that's not acceptable. Yeah, because there could be mail in there. There could be memorabilia stuff. Yeah, there's a lot of things that could be in that box. And it's not fair to them. They already feel a certain way about how they're living. They're welcoming you into their home to help them. and then you're putting more pressure on them. And they're going to make a terrible decision they're going to regret, or they're just going to shut down and not do anything. So I really take this nice, gentle approach. If they need a little bit of a harder push, I'm flexible with that. Yes, literally, I've done as small as a desk, I like to say, and as big as a house. I've done inventory rooms, classrooms, offices. In addition to just regularly organizing, I do what's called a refresh. I have a client who every year I go back to their house and we do like another refresh, another clean out, because if it's been a year and you haven't touched or whatever, you probably don't need it. So we're going to let it go this time. But yeah, we do that every year. And then I have a client recently, we just finished her house, and she's going to have me come in monthly, which I'm like, that's exciting. That keeps them maintained. I help people pack up before they move. A lot of times the packers, when they have moving people, and I'm not going to say names, will just and put it right in a box. And that's not really helpful. Obviously, they're stressed out from the process of trying to find a house, sell a house, and then move and trying to settle into this house. That's a lot. That's a whole lot. So I unpack people, I pack them up, and I've also done where my client knew she was moving in a few months. So she had me come in, we went through her entire apartment, and we decluttered it all so that when she moved, it was already that much easier later on down the road. And I can bring containers. I like to use what the clients have. Most people have pretty good systems in place. They're just not 1,000% utilized the way that they could be. I do a free consultation. I go in and we really talk about the goal of the room. We talk about what they envision for it to look like, because my envision could be different from theirs, what functionality, what they need, and then really dive into it if they do hire me. And then we go from there. Yes. So I serve Ocean County, Monmouth County, and South Jersey, Burlington area. So I have clients in Little Lake Harbor, and as far as like past Eatontown, I don't know. I'm not really good with the North, but I do North Jersey. So I don't. There are some people that do that. There's a minimum of like 3 hours. I don't do that. A lot of my clients have ADHD, and they can really only do 2 hours at a pop. And once we've established trust and signs, like I'm really good at reading people, so I can see them depleting and dwindling with their energy. And I'll say, okay, hey, why don't we take a break? Or you know what, we're not going to just throw out an answer, yes, no, to donate or whatever. We need to take a break and step away from this, revisit it, in a couple of minutes, or we're going to call it for the day. Not a lot of people are really good about speaking up for themselves. So I'm good at being like, all right, we're done, right? And they're like, yes. And I'm like, okay. And then I see myself out. So, but once we build that trust and I know what our triggers and stuff like that, I do try to gently guide them to making those decisions. Hey, we have like 17 spatulas. Can we decide on just 3? Does anybody else have any questions?
No, you were ready.
Thank you.